right? Everything we do, we go to a restaurant, we click a photograph and it's food porn, right on Facebook. You go to the stadium, watch cricket match, and it's right there on your Facebook wall. Stadium porn. So much that Facebook has become one of the most difficult things to cater to. I would request you to take a look at how Facebook can be risky for you. Then she says, my first Raksha Bandhan with my husband. Raksha Bandhan is actually a day when sister ties a thread to the brother's wrist. So, she says, my first Raksha Bandhan with my hubby. I don't know, whether she tied him. Oh my God. Right, so, this could be true. Well, I have heard the other way around, not. Okay, so we have read hundreds and hundreds of things about credit card fraud. I'll not go into it in detail because all of us read it every day. We also, all of us are downloading mobile apps and it asks for a spate of requests, access to your mobile data and things like that. So I'll talk more about that. In fact, I'm surprised that Roaster on Wheels, how many of you have downloaded Roaster on Wheels? That application asks you for your address book. Now what if I have Narendra Modi's phone number in my... So is someone going to data mine that also? These are the things that happen. But that is about individual technology. The fact is that 18% of Indian businesses die because of wrong technology, wrong implementation, or the effects of wrong implementation. 18% of Indian businesses die because of wrong information technology decisions. Kishore is a chartered accountant. He made his office that I want wet computation of Maharashtra tunes. His office, all his assistants, 6 of them sent him 6 emails. Each of them had a file, wet 1516 mahatube.xls, Excel file. Funnily, each one of them had different data. The reason being that the data was scattered. Everyone had their same file, had made their changes, and nobody knew which was the correct file. This could have been changed had they centralized data on the server to eliminate multiple copies. These are the small things that technology help your business and which are essential for entrepreneurs like you who are not IT people to know. Manikandan, he was a salesman at Gala Brothers. Gala Brothers is a paper merchant in Bora Bazaar Street, and one day he could access his accountant's computer and saw the purchase invoices. Today Manikandan has a shop, Balaji Enterprises, just 3 buildings away from his ex-boss, and he's doing better business than Gala. My question is, how the hell in the world is a salesman supposed to get access to data which is a purchase data? But that's what has happened. That could have been avoided if the data was secured from unwanted users using real server software. Details I am not going into because this is not the right audience for it. I'm just touching upon points so that you guys can actually look at what you are doing back in your business, in your enterprise, and take a good call on that. Sandra is a recruitment officer in a company that has got 150 recruiters. They recruit mid and higher level CXO level people to companies which include multinationals as well. So Sandra has collected in the last 1.5 years, she collected almost about 1200 CVs which she verified, the resumes of people she verified, who are good for the top level positions. Typically we Indians have this tendency, I don't want to share my data with you. So she had all her data in her laptop. Her laptop 1.5 years of her work down the drain. I don't know how much salary the company would have paid her. At the same time, how much business they would lose because those 1200 CVs are not available. They could have forcefully centralized the data on server. We spoke about centralizing the data, we spoke about making sure that the data stays secure, and they could have centralized the data on the server. Forcefully. They could have also made sure that the server has two hard disks which are duplicate of each other. So if one fails, the other one doesn't. So this could have protected their company completely from that laptop, which unfortunately didn't happen. And this is a very, very, very interesting instance. There is a guy called Raman. He's currently in jail. He had a fight with his boss. He used to work in a company which is a distributor of Mahindra and Tata vehicles, and they are the biggest distributor. They supply to entire Maharashtra and parts of South Gujarat. Now, boss obviously of an automobile spare part company is a Banju, and he had a fight. I mean, Banjus are good at using appreciation for people they love. So, I mean, when they have a fight with them, they really appreciate them with all their heart. Now, this Manikandan guy, this Raman fellow, he got a bit upset when he was abused by it. He resigned the next day and he was serving his 1 month. After 7 months of Raman leaving, suddenly the companies realized that they are having lesser and lesser of cash flow. And they couldn't figure out why. Every single invoice was paid for properly by the customers. Bills had been perfect. And still the bank said that you were exceeding your overdraft facility. It turned out, after a lot of research, a lot of checks by auditor, it was found that Raman had not deleted the invoices out of their accounting system. He had deleted a few products out of every invoice, which means that if the invoice value was 12 lakh rupees, because they removed 3-4 items, this guy before resigning had removed 3-4 items, the actual receivable showed only 3 lakh or 4 lakh. And that is what these guys, now, I mean, any of you are aware of automobile spare parts market, they would know that, the credit terms over there are from 90 to 150 days, and which is huge. So, therefore, these guys came to know about it after 6 months. The moral of the story is that that company has lost 7 crores as of today. They do not know how much of it will come back, probably 50%. And this could have been avoided had the company invested in proper data backup systems. Not only copy paste, a lot of us in our offices, they say, we'll fix in an external hard disk, take a copy of the data every day. No. This could have been avoided instead of waiting for 6 or 7 months. If the moment things look fishy, they could have restored the older version of data and checked and compared that the invoice number, let's say, 1040 had 10 lakh rupees and now it is 3 lakh rupees. So this could have been avoided. These are the small things, which can be avoided if you pay attention to IT and the risks. Now, how many of you know what is ransomware? Have you heard of it? Ransomware. Right. So ransomware, in short, is a kind of virus. What it does is, it gets into your computer by you surf internet, you download pornography, you download songs, everything that is softwares, and one day that ransomware will get into your computers. It will start encrypting your data. One day, when it has encrypted the entire data, a warning will flash in front of you saying that in another 36 hours, if you do not pay us 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, 5 Bitcoins, 10, 15 Bitcoins, then you will lose your data permanently. And that's what happens. There is no solution of this. not even with FBA. For those who do not know what is a Bitcoin, it's a virtual currency. Each Bitcoin as of today costs $432. This is about 28,000 rupees. One fellow working in a British company in India, a guy by the name of Chauhan, he stays in Chembur, so maybe some of you might know him, so I'm not naming him. He's about 50. He loves porn. I mean, during office hours, after his work is done with, or in lunchtime, he wouldn't eat. He would watch all the websites. In fact, Indian government could have asked him which sites to ban. He knows so many of them. So, his company was attacked by a ransomware. His company ended up paying 85,000 rupees worth of Bitcoins. Incidentally, Hollywood Hospital last month had to pay 17,000 US dollars or 11 lakh rupees to release their hospital data, patient records. The same thing happened a month later at 11 Hospital NGO, an NGO that manages 11 hospitals, and they ended up paying 42,000 US dollars despite help from FBA. Incidentally, if you guys have read the newspaper a couple of days ago, an Australian has admitted that he is the inventor of Bitcoin. Somewhere, ransomware has got something to do with it. That's the reason now things are coming out in open, but solving the problem, not possible. If your data is gone, is encrypted by ransomware, either you pay up or you're gone. What could have been done could have been antivirus on computer and firewall at the point where internet connection comes in. Small things. What also could have been done is there are only two ways viruses can come in. One is through internet, the other one is through your pen drives or your DVD drives. Just block those directly from the server. If it is done from the system, I can break it. But from the server, I can't. And sandbox backup version. You guys must have seen that, these guys who stand with AK-47, the Black Cat commandos and the guards outside important place, they have sandbags around them, right? So you need to put the data, the backup in a place where nothing can attack. Thieves. In Indian parlance, I will say chor and kamchor. So people who want to steal your data and people who do not want to work. I know when I was in RBA, when I was working for the Reserve Bank of India, I had a person, there was an officer by the name of Rani, and that guy would be out of office from 11 o'clock up to 3:30. Reason? He used to go and trade in stock exchange. Today you are giving it to him right on his desktop. You have stock market trading websites, right? You have, there are people who waste their time on Facebook, on LinkedIn during office hours. Worst, there are people who are hunting for jobs, sitting on your computers, sitting in your office, enjoying the air-conditioned environment of your office, using your computer and using your internet bank. How shameless can that be? But this can be stopped with a UTM, and the best part is most of the firewalls have UTM built in. I don't know if whoever your IT provider is, please ask him what this is, because these are very important things. And any of your IT provider, your technology provider can give it to you. Okay, keep it up. So, before you guys get some wrong ideas, it's keep IT up, and I am not a seller of Viagra, so it's keep IT up, not keep it up. And just giving you an example, one of my customers, an interior decorator firm, has a customer, a superstar whose name starts from A and whose surname starts from B. Obviously, I can't name him for the confidentiality. But so that Mr. AB was supposed to go to their office and see a presentation. Just about 20 minutes before Mr. AB was supposed to walk in their office, the server crashed because somebody pulled out the server and there was a spark. Within 1.5 minutes, and within 20 seconds of their calling us, they were up and running. And this is very simple technology. You just use a mirror server, you have a server, you use a mirror server, and you are done. One system gone, the second one should come up instantly. How many of you have heard of a Gujarati newspaper that did come out 2 years ago for no reason whatsoever? It was a Wednesday, and the Gujarati paper didn't come. The next day, they wrote an apology in their newspaper saying that due to technical reasons, the real reason was that their server had failed, and so with it went the entire news while they were making the layout. Had they been using our systems, this wouldn't have happened. Had they been using mirror server, this wouldn't have happened. How many of you remember the cloudburst day, 26 July 2005? One of our customers, Dollar Store, you must have seen Dollar Store, 99 superstores which came up across the country. They were our customers. So their wooden store was entirely under 4 feet of water. As God would have it, when the store opened on 27th, and before they could remove the first carton of damaged juices from the shop floor, their server was up and running. And that's because of the mirror server technology that we implemented at their store. Disaster recovery. Now, very quickly, we know fire, flood, earthquake, theft are the only reason for disaster. The fact is, one of my customers who is at Wapi, a manufacturing unit, was raided by CBI no less, and they took away all his hard disks, including the Mac Air hard disk. They broke it open and took that hard disk as well. Which means they were left without data to fend with. Data is not going to come to them from CBI, not in the near foreseeable future. But they have disaster recovery solution from us, so it would work. It simply works. They have their data. Had our system not been there, they would have lost 9 crores. Straight 9 crores. Okay, so how many of you have heard of cloud? What's a cloud? Anyone can give me an answer. What's a cloud? Yes.
Open space clouds where it moves to data when guys are outside the office.
True. So, that's a fantastic definition. In fact, that's a correct definition. I think the earliest cloud was the electricity company. You don't have to own the thermal power plant and still use electricity. So similarly, you don't have to set up data centers and you can still use it. But cloud is also a lot of hot air. Just like the name cloud says, it's a lot of hot air. Do you know Google Cloud burst in 2011 January and 150,000 users lost their Gmails permanently. In 2015, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 August, Google data center in Belgium lost data of 0.00002% of data. For Google, if it's 0.00002% of data, it looks very small in terms of percentage. But if it was your data, it was 100% your data. Amazon Web Services, they brought down Netflix last year. And that was because Amazon Cloud crashed. Just last Monday, Google went down for exactly 18 minutes. Google services went down for exactly 18 minutes. And Google CEO comes out and says, well, it was a comedy of errors. It could have been a tragedy for us. Remember that. So, cloud is good. Cloud is good. Definitely a good thing. But cloud is good for applications, not for your data. It's like this, you have 10,000 rupees. You give it to your banker, 1,000 rupees, 10 notes. You don't insist on the same notes coming back to you. It really doesn't matter, right? But if you give your wife to the banker, you want the same wife back, right? So data is like your wife. You say, no. No, I really heard someone say no.
Nobody dare say it again.
Alright, so cloud is good, but do keep a local copy of whatever data you have on cloud with you.
What do you mean by local copy?
We'll come to that. See, whatever data you have on cloud, you should have it with you, either on your system or on your external disk or whatever. But you should have that because cloud can go down. Incidentally, a very funny incidents of Amazon Web Services. Obviously, customer lost data, huge amount of data. They tried to recover and then they sent an email to the customer that despite our best efforts, we have not been able to recover the data. We are sending you, we are putting up whatever we have been able to recover, but we are not sure if it would be of any use to you. Please remove that data to avoid paying storage. First you kill my data, then you insult me by saying that I am going to charge you for it. Now, piracy and extortion. Software piracy and extortion is a very, very vast subject. I do not think we have time for it, but it's something that can put you behind bars. And just one incident that Jagat Singh is an 82-year-old man, and he is in office at Parade. And people walked into his office and checked his computer and said, you have child pornography. Get arrested, we'll arrest you, or you pay us 20 lakh. This is a real incident, and therefore I am saying it's a vast topic. It would, if we start to discuss it, obviously I would suggest that we have a larger forum than this, and people who are really interested in protecting themselves from piracy. Alright, so my only suggestion at the end will be that not pirate software. Most of them are available for free. A lot of software are available for free, which will do as good as your paid software. So, business in digital world. We spoke about the protection in virtual world for us as people. Now, in business, there are only 3 simple things to remember. Protect your data, use a server, backup, a disk mirror, and a disaster recovery system. Doesn't cost much. Okay, secure your data. Anti-malware, antivirus and other things, firewalls, and UTM. We spoke about UTM also. And if you want undisrupted business, then put in a link. Only 3 suggestions to protect yourself in this wonderland called technology. But yes, before I end, will technology go away? What do you think? Technology will never go away. Businesses and people will depend increasingly more and more on technology. But that doesn't mean paper will go away either. There will still be bathroom and you know what. So the biggest disadvantage or the biggest risk of technology is. Thank you so much. That's all I have.
So can you put it guide regarding antivirus suggestions? $10.
Which one?
Bitcoin.
This one? Yeah.
Various recommendations for
Free software. Yeah, that's. You want it? I'll send it to you.
send us
I'll send this. This is, nothing that I am saying except for the piracy and extortion is something that I would really be. You can have the lights on now. It's okay.
there's a backup.
Any other slides you guys want to see?
What did you
Well, I protect my data from ransomware, so you won't find that here. Yeah, but just to share this with you, you can use it with Apple phones. They are supposed to be pretty secure. So, in fact, a friend of mine, his son, told me that my mom really thinks that I am having an affair with a girl called Siri. So, Thank you guys for having me here.
So that please file your questions.
Yeah.
You said disaster recovery.
Yes.
Uh,
In fact, I was expecting more questions.
You said disaster recovery. You also said it's not very costly.
Yeah, it's not.
I work for Kshitij and we did disaster recovery. But it's so costly, so costly. I even went to Germany to understand the techniques and all that. So, maybe years back, the computers that we do that. So, finally we dropped the project. We could not start continuing the project. Everybody was sold to the idea, the concept was fantastic. The cost, but when you said the cost would not be so much.
Not for businesses. For business like your mind, there won't be. Incidentally, even for enterprises, it is not that costly. Because, I mean, if you consider that as a percentage of the earning, it's hardly anything for enterprises. For businesses, in fact, they might feel, okay, I mean, yes. But then it depends on the individuals whether they want disaster recovery or just disaster.
There was a news yesterday that IRCTC website was hacked, and how do they manage such a huge customer relationship?
No, I don't think that was the right. Was it funny?
No.
No.
They have confirmed that it wasn't.
They collected data on email and profile of the customers. Somebody stole the data, let's say. They're not wanting money or something. The people are being tickets, money is the people.
No, honestly speaking, I really feel this is unlikely. It could be that IRCTC online portal people who are using, their data could have been stolen, but not the railways data.
No, unless some hackers, fall on.
It's possible. Let me tell you, hackers are always one step ahead of us. You build a good technology, there will be somebody who will break that technology.
Later the main source of income on some website, Facebook, Twitter. They are selling data to hackers or someone like that? Or
No. Facebook
Because
doesn't sell your data,
because
they only advertise.
Because like that, how will you bring in income? Then are they doing it or what?
Well, I'm very sure that a lot of us know that most of these companies are not here to justify the money that they are getting. For them it is market share and then share market, which is what happened. I think it was what, $100 billion issue, public issue of Facebook. Let me tell you, if you look at their revenues as of today, it really doesn't justify that. So, yes, they don't sell their data, but they definitely advertise, and in the next 10 years, they expect it to multiply. Yes,
What is the average cost of making melody and putting data on the cloud?
Okay, so number one thing that what is the kind of data you are putting in makes a difference. Yeah.
I got to say 100 GB of data.
Chartered accountants usually don't have that much data, just out of
I have.
Yeah, okay, so you are not one person company, you have people working for you. Okay.
I have my client data.
Okay.
I have my client data.
Sure.
Partially I have put it on the cloud. Partially I have not mirrored. I have a second server.
Okay.
How to mirror?
Okay, so may I know your name, please? Okay, please leave your card with me, and you can pick up my visiting card from here. I'll talk to you on offline. But let me tell you, this technology is extremely economical. It doesn't cost 20 lakhs like it used to cost you earlier. And it's so cheap, you will be surprised about it. Only thing is, I do not want to publicly say it.
Are there any softwares to take incremental data backup?
Okay, so our operating system data safe is built exactly for that. It's a server, a backup, a disaster recovery system, and all you need to do is pick up that DVD, install it on any computer, double click on get support, and the rest of the things are done by us. Just make payment to us. Yes. Yes, you were asking.
Here, generally when we install all this antivirus and everything, they assure us about the spam mails,
Yeah.
but it keeps on coming in.
Yeah.
So, is there any effective tools to?
There are only two things you can do. One is if